Hello learners, I am Gayatri Suryavanshi, Assistant Professor, Sri Santakrupa College of Pharmacy, Ghogaon. Today I am going to present a video on prodrugs, learning outcomes. After watching this video, the learner will be able to define the prodrugs, state the ideal properties of prodrug and classify the prodrug. So these are the contents in that prodrug concept, ideal properties and classification. So now we will see the first prodrug concept. So prodrugs are inactive compounds which on metabolism in the body either chemically or enzymatically gives parent active drug. It is defined as a compound which undergoes biotransformation before exhibiting its therapeutic effect. So, if we'll compare these two figures, prodrugs need activation. So, for activation, after metabolism, they becomes activated, while the active drug directly reaches to the circulation. So, objectives, there are three objectives. On the basis of these objectives, prodrugs are designed. So, first is pharmaceutical objective, in that to improve water or lipid solubility, to improve chemical stability, to alter organoleptic properties like taste, odor, to decrease irritation and pain at injection site. Next is pharmacokinetic objectives. So in that to improve absorption, to reduce pre-systemic metabolism, to increase organ or tissue selectivity. Third one is pharmacodynamic objectives, in that to decrease toxicity and to improve the therapeutic index. Next, that are ideal properties of a prodrug. So prodrug should be less toxic than drug. Prodrug should be inactive or significantly less active than the parent drug. The generation of active drug from prodrug should rapid enough to ensure effective drug level at the site of action. The metabolites from the carrier should be non-toxic or have a low degree of toxicity. And last, the prodrug should be site specific. So next is the classification of prodrugs. So these prodrugs are basically classified into two major types, that are carrier linked prodrugs, or it is also called as a simple prodrugs, or another one bioprecursor or metabolic precursors. So again, that carrier linked prodrugs are further classified into four subtypes. First, double prodrug, macromolecular prodrug, site specific prodrug and mutual prodrug. So first one, that is carrier linked prodrug. So in these carrier linked prodrugs, active drug that is covalently linked to an inert carrier or transport moiety, which may be generally ester or amide. The active drug is released by hydrolytic cleavage, either chemically or enzymatically. So such prodrugs have greatly modified lipophilicity due to attached carrier. So the prodrug and carrier released after in vivo enzymatical or non-enzymatically attack must be non-toxic. So in this figure here, the active drug binds with the inert carrier. So after metabolism, this after metabolism or enzymatic or chemical conversion, this active drug is released and inner carrier is separated. Next, that is depending upon the nature of carrier, these are further classified, that are double prodrug, macromolecular prodrug, site specific prodrug and mutual prodrugs. So first we will see double prodrug. So prodrug approach, this prodrug approach is used to improve drug delivery and drug targeting. So next is a reflection spot. I would like to request, think and reflect on the following question. Which are the problems occurred in the prodrugs that can be overcome by double prodrug approach? So pause your video for a minute and write your answer in your notebook. Once you done, then start the video. Okay, the major problems which are associated with the prodrug, that are drug targeting and the stability problems involving chemical release of the active drug. So these problems can be overcome by using this double prodrug approach. So for this approach, enzymatic release mechanism is essential prior to spontaneous release of parent compound. So this it is also termed as a pro-prodrug or cascade latentiation prodrug. So here in this figure you can see pro-prodrug, first enzymatic cleavage is there, then it is converted into prodrug which is chemically unstable, then finally again in presence of chemical or enzymatic hydrolysis it is converted into active drug. Next is macromolecular prodrug. So macromolecules like polysaccharides, dextrans, cyclodextrins, proteins, peptides and polymers, these are used as a carriers for this macromolecular prodrug. So example is naproxen. Third type, that is a site specific prodrug. So site specific drug delivery can be achieved by two distinct ways: site directed drug delivery and site specific bioactivation. In site directed drug delivery, to increase or selective transport of parent drug to the site of action, and site specific bioactivation, in this derivatives of prodrug goes everywhere but undergoes bioactivation only on target site. In this approach, carrier which acts as a transporter of the active drug which delivers the drug to their site of action. So here the example is progabide and diethylstilbestrol. These are the examples for these site specific drug prodrugs. Now these are the further examples of carrier linked prodrugs. First, carboxylic acid and alcohols, in that dipiveprin hydrochloride. It is a prodrug of epinephrine which is formed by the diesterification of epinephrine and pivallic acid, which is used in the treatment of open angle glaucoma, which increases the lipophilicity. So this dipiveprin, which is converted into after enzymatic hydrolysis esterase converted into epinephrine, which is used for the treatment of glaucoma. Then next example, that is chloramphenicol palmitate, which is a prodrug with reduced water solubility. The hydrophobic palmitate ester does not dissolve to any appreciable extent in the mouth and therefore does not interact with taste receptors. So after metabolism it is converted into chloramphenicol and palmitic acid. Here chloramphenicol is the active drug. Next is amines, in that example is hetacillin. So it is a beta lactam. It is converted in the body to the active ampicillin, which is active against variety of organisms, so thereby increase lipophilicity and absorption. So after metabolism this hetacillin is converted into ampicillin and acetone. So ampicillin is a active drug here. So next example, azolinkages, that is sulfasalazine. So it is used in the treatment of inflammatory bowel diseases. So anaerobic bacteria in the lower bowel metabolically reduce sulfasalazine to the 5-amino salicylic acid. Next example, that is carbonyl compounds, in that methenamine. So this methenamine is a prodrug in acidic pH. So methenamine is converted into formaldehyde, which acts as an antibacterial agent. Fourth type of carrier linked prodrug, that is mutual prodrug. So it consists of two pharmacologically active agents coupled together to form a single molecule such that each acts as carrier for the other. Prodrug of two active compounds are called as mutual prodrug. So this agent is not hydrolyzed in the gastric juice and is more slowly absorbed than either acetyl salicylic acid or paracetamol. So after absorption it gets hydrolyzed quantitatively to the parent drugs. So parent drug with biological action. Similarly another drug which is acts as a carrier here, which is also having same biological action, which are combined together to form the mutual prodrug. So the carrier selected have the same biological action as that of parent drug to give synergistic action or some additional biological action that is lacking in the parent drug. The carrier that may improve site specificity of a drug. The carrier drug may be used to overcome some side effects of a parent drug. Example of this type, this that is benorilet. So advantage of benorilet is as a prodrug of acetyl salicylic acid, it can be used to treat chronic inflammation at decreased doses and reduce the risk of irritation to the gastric mucosa. So paracetamol, it inhibits the erosion action acetyl salicylic acid by stimulating the stomach prostaglandin synthetase. So benorilet is converted into aspirin and paracetamol. Second type of a prodrug, that is a bioprecursor prodrug. So it is a prodrug which does not involve the linkage to carrier but results from a molecular modification of a active drug itself. So it totally depends upon metabolism to introduce active functional group, that is it requires activation. So it can be activated by oxidation, reduction, nucleotide activation, phosphorylation activation and decarboxylation. So it can be classified according to method of activation, either phase 1 or phase 2 metabolism. So example is acetaminophen. So O-deethylated metabolite which is a phenacetin. So acetaminophen shows excellent analgesic activity when compared with a phenacetin. So dealkylation takes place here and this phenacetin is converted into acetaminophen which is the active drug. Next example, that is nabumeton, which is also NSAID. It requires oxidative activation. So it contains no acidic functionality and passes through the stomach without producing irritation. So subsequent absorption occurs in a intestine. So here also dealkylation takes place and nabumetan is converted into its active form. Next example, that is mitomycin C. It requires reduction of quinone to hydroquinone form. So it is a potent DNA cross-linker. So this cross-linking effective in killing bacteria. So in this you can see a quinone form can be reduced into hydroquinone form which is the active form of this mitomycin. Thank you for patient listening. Thank you.